Hello everybody, welcome to ADVM 12, Unit 10 lecture on position tolerancing and fundamentals. Okay, in this lesson, we will build a foundational understanding of how position tolerances are applied to ensure precision and functionality in manufactured parts. You will learn how to correctly complete feature control frames using the diameter symbol, material condition modifiers such as MMC, LMC, and RFS, and a proper datum references. We will also explore how to visualize and sketch tolerance zones, calculate tolerances under various fastener conditions, and determine bonus tolerance when applicable. Through practical examples and hands-on calculations, you will gain insight into how these tolerances work in real-world scenarios and why they offer significant advantages over traditional coordinate-based tolerancing methods. Okay, our objectives: by the end of this lesson, you will be able to complete a feature control frame for position tolerances properly using a diameter symbol, material condition modifiers, and datum feature references. You'll be able to sketch the proper location and shape for position tolerance zones and describe the effects of MMC and LMC or RFS applicability on a position tolerance, and provide examples that prove the validity of MMC concept as it applies to position tolerances. We'll also calculate the position tolerances for simple fixed and floating fastener conditions, calculate the allowable additional or bonus tolerance for a produced part, which a position tolerance is specified at maximum material condition. We'll also use the calculation techniques to verify whether produced holes locations meet specified drawing tolerances, and cite advantages of position tolerances when compared to coordinate hole location tolerances. Okay, position tolerance. It specifies an allowable variation of location relative to a basic position. The surface method takes precedence for MMC and LMC tolerances. The second method of calculating for axis method is for regardless of feature size and MMC unrelated actual mating envelope, which is an acronym AME. The axis method for LMC, unrelated actual minimum material envelope, and axis method for regardless of feature size. So there's a difference between calculating off a theoretical center axis, and if you're using a functional gauge method, that would be picking up on the surfaces. So you have a physical feature that's touching the surfaces as opposed to calculating a theoretical axis. Now, the functional gauge setup is actually the most efficient when you're getting a production, so that you physically have some sort of gauge that goes into these hole patterns to determine pass or fail criteria. But you have to have very accurate tooling, and it has to have its own calibration cycle. If you're using, say, coordinate measuring machines, they're going to be picking up on a theoretical axis. Okay, positions in models and drawings. They maybe control the location of as many features as necessary. So you can have one control box controlling multiple hole features. All reference datum features must be identified, so you don't have the option to leave datums off. And basic dimensions define the true position. So when you're doing these calculations, you're going from this true dimension and comparing what you actually measured to it. So when someone uses the term calculating true position, you're really comparing an actual position you've calculated to the true position. True position is a theoretical exact location and orientation it establishes by basic dimensions. And explicit or model defined, and at least one of the control frames specifies a position tolerance. Okay, a tolerance zone. The feature control frame values defines the size of the zone for the axis method. The value used to calculate the virtual condition for MMC and LMC. And the diameter symbol before the tolerance value indicates the shape. Omitting symbols results in a total width rather than a cylindrical shape. So you can call a position to say a slot, and you would omit the diameter symbol, and it's going to be implied that it's applying to its overall dimensions, however those are defined, with whatever basic dimensions are associated with that feature. There's the functional requirements of the feature, determining a specified zone or shape. And holes are typically round, and width features like slots are typically rectangular. So you can use this for complex shapes. It's going to come up later in the deck. I think it's a pretty difficult thing to ask for the inspection side of things, but it can be done. Feature control frames. Position tolerance is only applied to features of size and bounded features. Connected to feature with a leader, placed adjacent to the feature dimension, or placed on the size dimension line. ASME standards do not support position tolerances on surfaces, and may be multiple single line segments or composite where needed. Okay, tolerance value. It's preceded by a diameter symbol if the zone is circular or cylindrical. And actually, you can leave it off, but then it changes the interpretation to a radius if it's assumed. But I don't recommend that. You're cutting your tolerance in half by doing that. It's preceded by it's preceded by a spherical diameter symbol if the zone is spherical, and followed by a material condition modifier if MMC or LMC is applicable, and statistical symbol after any shown modifier if the tolerance is determined using statistical calculations, and a maximum tolerance value after the modifier to control the maximum allowable tolerance. Okay, datum feature references. You read them from left to right in the feature control frame, like all others. Your primary is the first, secondary, and tertiary is the third. Okay, it's applicable at RMB, or regardless of material boundary, if no modifier is shown. Explicit datum feature references are required, and implied datums are not permitted because they cause confusion. And datum reference frame would be assumed which can be cause inconsistency if you were to try to use an implied datum like a centerline or something like that. So you have to explicitly call out each datum. And the order of precedence is important. Okay, material condition and material boundary modifier application. Okay, ASME rule number 2 requires all tolerances applicable at regardless of feature size, and all datum features references applicable at regardless of material boundary size unless otherwise specified. So if it's left off, RFS and RMB apply. Modifier selection depends on the design application, and tolerance modifier may be different from material condition modifier. Okay, position tolerance zone. Define shape, size, location, and orientation. They're determined by the diameter symbol, tolerance value, and basic dimension and datum feature references. Axis and surface methods may give different results if there is any variation in the form of the feature. So I mean it's the condition of the sidewalls of the hole. And surface method takes precedence for maximum material condition and least material condition applications. So here you see the two different versions. Okay, so our virtual condition is driven by the surface method. So you're calculating the diameter of the hole, and you have a virtual condition, and you have that's what you base a functional gauge off of that would touch the surfaces. The axis motion method, you've got a center zone, and the position of the hole needs to fit within that size diameter. So that's reflected in the image on the left of the diameter 240 thousandths when at MMC. Now your call out is going to look the same. This is just two different methods of inspection, interpreting how you're going to go about finding the positions of these. So typically in the machine shop courses here, you're going to be using the method for finding the axis, because you don't have time to build functional gauges for every single part. It depends on the company you're working for. I'm a believer in the old school tooling. Fixed tooling is efficient and well worth investing in if you're investing in the life of a product. But most job shops are going to use the axis method and check it on a CMM or hard check it, and then extrapolate where the center axis of the hole is. So there's two different mathematical ways of approaching it. And in our machine shop classes, we're teaching the axis method. Okay, basic dimensions and true position. Okay, the basic dimensions define the locations of features that have position tolerances. Theoretically perfect and have no tolerance, the basic dimension itself. The true position defined by the basic dimensions is the exact and related to the specified datum reference frame, and does not indicate the feature must be perfectly located. So if we look at this example, we have the virtual condition of the hole, which is the outside hidden line, and then we have the axis of the true position, which is a circular zone that the center of the hole needs to fall within, and that's the smaller phantom line circle we're seeing in this particular example. Okay, the relationship to the datum reference frame. Position tolerances must include a datum feature references. Exception when tolerance features act as the primary datum for other features located from. And the datum reference frame provides original and coordinate system. I'm sorry, origin and coordinate system. And surfaces are not the origin of measurements. Okay, regardless of feature size, no material condition modifier because RFS is the default and assumed. Specified tolerance value remains constant regardless of feature size, creates inner and outer boundaries, and typically for applications where holes have zero clearance or press fits. Maximum material condition. Specified tolerance value applies when features are produced at maximum material condition. Additional position tolerance based on unrelated actual mating envelope size in the axis method creates an inner virtual condition and an outer resultant condition boundaries for the holes, and typically for clearance hole applications. So we have these graphics on the left, maximum material condition on a hole. The effect for the machinist, it gives them some bonus if the hole is closer to the top of the tolerance. LMCs gives you the opposite. It's typically used on shafts where your condition is a little more restrictive by default, but as you deviate on the diameter of the hole, it gets tighter. So in practice, what I have seen happen is, and I'll repeat it again on another slide that probably makes it a little more concrete, but in practice, what I have seen is machinists want all the bonus they can, so they end up, when they interpret a tolerance like this, it's a ½ inch plus 10 minus 0, they get more bonus on the accuracy of where the positions of the holes if they make them as big as possible. So the unintended consequence of using this type of system is your machinist is going to cut all your holes at like 5 inches and 9/10 so that they get more tolerance, and then they try to hold that very tight, so you get the unintended consequence of the hole being held at a tighter tolerance than you need so that they can gain the bonus on the position tolerance. So I don't know, if you don't have MMC included, they don't get the bonus, but if you remove it and go RFS, then they're going to make all your holes on size and try harder to hit the position. So it's kind of what happens in practice, and how this was developed, I think, is kind of gone in two different ways. Okay, least material condition. Specified tolerance value applies when the feature is produced at least material condition. Additional position tolerance is based on unrelated actual minimum material envelope size in the axis method. It creates an outer virtual condition and an inner result condition boundaries for the hole, and typically for applications where edge distance and the remaining material is a concern. So you're trying to make sure the holes don't get bigger, and you get a thin wall condition, and maybe your submarine has a wall burst because of the pressure. Okay, proof of concept. Proof of MMC concept. Okay, so this is a example of using a functional gauge to check the position. Okay, and the MMC modifier on the hole on position tolerance permits additional position tolerance as an unrelated actual mating envelope size increases. So the bigger the hole is, the more tolerance you have. So if you have mating bolts going through a bolt pattern, then you get more tolerance. Okay, the feature size affects allowable position tolerance. Maximum material condition allows a greater freedom for the part production. And working near the MMC limit, easier for the part for rework if error is made. So you have trouble with position of parts fitting together. You can come back and rework it if you can make the hole bigger. Now the opposite applies when you're talking about shafts.